Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm talking about which VPNs support Monero payments. If you're familiar with cryptocurrencies, you probably know that Monero is one of the most secure payment options out there. The only downside is a lot of VPNs don't support Monero. It's definitely one of those it's definitely kind of one of those cryptocurrencies that is kind of probably harder to exchange around. And it also kind of comes with some questionable people perhaps trying to buy your VPN that you might want to kind of steer away from. That said, there are some good VPNs that do support Monero. There are a couple of VPNs I'm not really going to mention in this video. Stuff like iVPN and Molvad are probably some of the bigger ones that support Monero. Both of these VPNs no longer support port forwarding, which means you're not going to be able to get the maximum speeds when you want to do stuff like torrenting. As you know, forwarding a specific port with these VPNs can increase your seeding, so it's definitely something you don't want to miss when you're purchasing a VPN to pay for less features. Those VPNs are also extremely expensive. iVPN can be as much as like $300 for a couple of years. Molvad is also going to be very expensive long term, around like $200. So these VPNs I'm going to be mentioning in this video are not only supporting Monero, but they also support port forwarding and are cheap long term, have really good speeds for torrenting and anything you really need to do. So guys, without further ado, which VPNs are those? Well, I've picked the VPNs from VPNtierlist.com. This is my own rating system for VPNs and probably the only objective one you're going to find on the internet that really takes into account every single kind of categorization of what makes a VPN good. I've broken it down in specific categories, weighted by each individual thing you want, and you could find this at any time on VPNtierlist.com. So which of my top 5 VPNs do support Monero? Well, that's going to be TorGuard and Hi.me. Private internet access doesn't support Monero. I don't believe Proton VPN does, and neither does NordVPN. So these are my top 2 VPNs and then support Monero. Both of these are excellent VPNs. Now, which one should you pick at the end of the day? Well, using my links in the description down below should get you the best deal. Specifically for TorGuard VPN, TomSpark2023 is the code to use. Let me know. I also want to let you know I'm not sponsored by either of these VPNs. I'm simply an affiliate for pretty much every single VPN on my tier list, so it lets me pick and rate them however I want. So guys, with TorGuard, if you use code TomSpark2023, you should be able to get unlimited port forwarding, and it's going to be around $5 a month or $30 a year, or even as cheap as $70 for 3 years. Wow, they really want you to buy a router here. I've actually made a couple videos about this if you guys are interested in kind of routers and stuff like that. So check out some of my videos on, I think I made a video about setting up one of these routers with WireGuard, and I even made a video about self-hosting and kind of making your own kind of NAS/router from a computer, which is pretty cool. But going on to this, like I said, if you use code TomSpark2023, you're going to be able to get it really cheap. So this is probably the best budget VPN, very fast speeds. Now, what are the downsides? Well, if you want streaming compatibility to unblock geo restrictions, you're going to have to buy the streaming bundle. It requires a little bit more setup. You have to ask support for some specific IPs, and then you have to plug and play them in the client, and you'll be able to access 2 regions of Netflix. So that's kind of the thing here with TorGuard. Another thing is the application on PC is a little bit janky sometimes. You can't really access the settings or look around at different servers when connected. It's not a huge issue, but the usability factor is a little bit lower, although it does work perfectly fine on pretty much every other operating system. The PC is just a little bit, the usability factor is a little bit odd. This is one of the older VPNs, and it's been around for like 11 years now with no security leaks. So, I mean, it's trusted for sure. I just want to mention maybe a downside in case you are thinking about which one to choose. Now, Hi.me is a little bit different. I would say the usability factor is a little bit smoother. I don't think the application actually looks as good. That said, it is a little bit easier to use, I think, kind of navigating the settings and stuff like that when you're connected, and mobile apps work perfectly fine too. The nice thing about Hi.me is you get 2 more simultaneous connections if you want to have lots of VPNs active at the same time. Streaming compatibility is built in, which means it works perfectly fine, and they have dynamic port forwarding as well, which is something we're looking for when choosing a VPN specifically for torrenting and this kind of anonymity sector of, wanting to buy a VPN that supports Monero. So like I said, both these VPNs support Monero. Hi.me is very good deal too, $70 for around 27 months. You need to use my link in the description down below. I think you should be able to get the best deal there. This one does work with stream compatibility built in, like I said, so that's an advantage over Torguard. Torguard might be cheaper long term, but this one is a little bit smoother to use, streaming compatibility built in, and you get 2 more simultaneous connections, but both of them are going to work perfectly good. So guys, check that out. If you want more details on both of these VPNs, check their reviews on the channel. I've reviewed both of these with more details if you're not sure which one to choose. There's definitely a lot of things to consider, but either of these are going to be perfectly fine to buy with Monero. Like I said, it's going to be better than some of those other options like that, like Movet, iVPN, and some of the other ones that support Monero, because those don't support port forwarding in 2023 anymore and get very expensive long term. And both of those don't work with anything like Netflix if you want to unblock geo restrictions, and something like Hi.me will natively do it. So guys, that's just my opinions. Some other stuff like Proton, I don't think supports Monero, Nord, Surfshark, and some of those other ones don't either. So anyways guys, let me know what you thought in the comments down below, and I'll see you again very soon.